quick minute snippet. I have a daughter who loves to play outside and particularly play in the mud and get dirty, and we encourage her to go outside and explore and enjoy the outdoors. Recently she went exploring out in the woods, as she enjoys to do, but instead of coming back to the house covered in her normal dirt and mud, she was waddling up to the house, holding her sweatpants as far away from her legs as she could get them, and was trying to do this as quickly as she could. Well, when she got up to the house, I realized that she was absolutely covered in burrs. She had gotten into something in the woods, and she was very excited to get out of those clothes and into clean clothes. Well, after she changed her clothes, she sat down and worked really hard at getting all those burrs out of the pants she was wearing. They were fleece, so those burrs were sticking and holding on pretty tight. But you see, these were her favorite pants, and so it was a priority for her to get those burrs out. So she sat and worked at it, and they looked pretty clean, but we went ahead and threw them in the washer. And about a week later, she was sitting at the breakfast table just wiggling like crazy. And I asked her if she had ants in her pants, and she said, "No, Mommy, but something is poking me. My pants hurt." When I looked at her pants, I realized that those were the pants that she had worn out in the woods and had been covered in burrs. I've been studying a passage in Isaiah about how our thoughts and God's thoughts are so different. And I thought about those pants and how they looked perfectly clean, but they were still poking and aggravating my little girl's soft, tender skin. And how that is so very much like how our thoughts are just like briars and thorns on the inside as we try to look a certain way and look clean and perfect on the outside and portray an image that we feel like will attract people's attention and their approval. You see, in this passage in Isaiah, it says that instead of the thorn shall come up the fir tree, and instead of the briar shall come up the myrtle tree, and it shall be to the Lord for a name, for an everlasting sign that shall not be cut off. And earlier in that passage, it says that my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways. You see, when we try to do things our way and do them apart from God, much like the Israelites were doing in this passage of Isaiah, we distort things and our thoughts become hurtful and painful, like a briar patch, like burrs stuck. And even though our priority is to, like I said, portray that beautiful image on the outside, on the inside, we are just a painful mess sometimes. Well, verse 7 says, "Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord." Ladies, if you are struggling with having just those painful thoughts, if you feel like on the inside you are just a briar patch of thorns and pain, the Bible tells us that we can return to the Lord. And when we go to Him, it tells us that He gives us abundant pardon, that we're forgiven, and then it goes on to describe that God's thoughts do not return in void. They grow, they're everlasting, and that we can have joy and peace and rejoice in the Lord. And we can replace those painful thoughts with the Lord's thoughts, and our lives will be different, and we can be beautiful on the inside and out. Unlike those pants that look clean on the inside but we're still pesky and poking, make it your priority not just to look the part on the outside and look like what you think will gain people's approval on the outside, but instead turn to the Lord with your thoughts and forsake those painful thoughts. Turn to the Lord, and He will give you